What's up everyone, Nick Shaw here. A lot of folks see some of my meals on Instagram at nick.shaw.rp. Always asking a lot of questions. Hey, why do you do the things you do? How do you set things up in the app? So what we're gonna do today, I'm gonna walk you through a sample day of exactly what I eat so you can see exactly how I set my meals up, how they work around my training schedule, and how I use the RP Diet Coach app to move my macros around a little bit with the latest features. It makes it easier to fit to my schedule, and I think will help a lot of folks out there. All right, what's up folks? Meal number one. So here's how I set things up. I'm not a huge breakfast person. I don't love to get up and make a lot of food, spend a lot of time. So listen, I get up around 6 a.m. or so. I gotta get, we have a new puppy. Gotta kind of deal with that. Lori helps a lot there, thankfully. Gotta get my kids ready for school. Gotta make sure they're all out the door. We leave by about 6:45 in the morning. So don't have a ton of time. So I'm not gonna be making eggs. I'm not gonna be taking a bunch of time making breakfast. So what I love to do is I love to have something to eat in the morning, but really without having to sit down and make it and then sit down and eat it as well. So my first meal of the day macros are usually about 30 grams of protein, 5 grams of fat, pretty low in fat, and about 30 grams of carbs. And folks, you're gonna hear me talk a lot today about not needing to be super precise and all that. So guess what? One scoop is about 25. I go a little over. For me, that's close enough. That's gonna be about 30 grams of protein. Usually I'll put a little cold brew in here as well. So there's already some cold brew in here, so I get a little caffeine content. So usually 150 grams of protein in the morning, or I'm sorry, caffeine that is, 150 milligrams. 150 grams of protein would be a little too much. I'm not gonna do 6 scoops of that. And then what I like to do is 30 grams of carbs. I call that one banana. Honestly, one banana. Sometimes there'll be bigger bananas. Sometimes there'll be smaller bananas. This is probably a little bit of a smaller one today, but that's it. For me, I know it's gonna average out over time. So might this only be 25? Sometimes might it be 35? No big deal, because it all averages out over the long run. I don't get super stressed out about being so over the top perfect. And that's the beautiful thing about the RP Diet Coach app. It rounds to the nearest 5 grams. So you don't have to spend so much time, energy, and stress on that. Just let the app do everything for you. Shake it up. It takes me 3 to 5 minutes to eat, and I'm ready to go. If I need to, I can take it with me in the car when I'm driving my kids to school. I like simple, quick, and easy. That's how I go about it. That's meal number one for me. Big part of my day is getting in my daily steps. So this is one of the big things I've talked about a lot on the RP Strength podcast. So for me, especially when it comes to cutting, I would much rather get out and walk a little bit more, whether that's adding in 1,000 or 2,000 steps a day, more so than I want to reduce my food intake. Because let's be honest, bringing that food intake down sucks quite a bit. Usually when I'm not in contest prep mode, my goal is about 10,000 steps every single day. Nothing too crazy. Now for me, it's usually a couple different times a day. One, something that I started doing on this most recent contest prep into this bodybuilding show was kind of early in the morning, if I have some extra time, just going and walking for like 10-15 minutes in the morning. Super peaceful out, super quiet. It's kind of time where maybe I listen to just a little bit of music or just something to kind of get my mind right for the day. So for example, I think sometimes it's easy to get lost in when you're cutting or something like that. You know, oh, this stinks, woe is me. Oh, this is so bad, this is so hard. I've definitely got lost in that mindset before, but I really made a conscious effort on this most recent cut, especially this contest prep into the show, to sort of remind myself that this is voluntary. I'm choosing to do all this, and like, why would I be upset about that? Or why would I want to not be friendly to other people or something like that? Because it's something that I'm choosing to do. So I don't want to inflict that upon my family, my friends, my colleagues, stuff like that. So just keep that in mind. And just remember, the more you can get out and walk, the better you're probably gonna feel too. So for me, I walk, kind of remind myself, hey, like I love what I'm doing. I love being able to do all this. It's a really great opportunity. I'm volunteering for it. And then also, you just feel a lot better. Go walk for 10, 15 minutes, you come back, you feel just like a little bit refreshed, you're ready to go. Like for me, that's how I like to start my days. So I love going about it like that. What's up, folks? Meal number 2. So this is my intra-workout shake. So for me, I'm one of the people that likes to have the intra-workout shake. Now over the years, I've done everything from like super high protein and carbs way back in the day to now much more, I guess, mellow amounts. Usually what I'll do is about 10 grams of whey protein. And usually, now depending on where I'm at, whether I'm cutting, masking, or on maintenance, usually I'm gonna end up around the 20 to 30 grams of carbs range. What I do is I load up about half a scoop here of the Ascent. Now I like to use the vanilla. You saw earlier I was using the coffee flavor. I'm not gonna do coffee flavor in my workout shake. So I like vanilla, and then usually I'll use something like Gatorade powder. Now it doesn't have to be Gatorade powder. You can use any other type of simple carb. Doesn't really matter. And this, I'll use about half a scoop. About 30 grams of carbs or so, because I'm on maintenance right now. And that's it. The workout shake ends up being 10, 15 grams of protein and 30 grams of carbs. That's usually enough to get me through the workout. I love the taste of it. Just gives me a little something extra. And that's it. Meal number 2, I just slowly sip on it while I'm training. Usually start by drinking it a little bit when I walk. So I actually train here at my house. So a few minutes before, I just start sipping on it, take it downstairs with me, and just sip on it between sets. Usually my workouts take anywhere from 60, 75, sometimes 90 minutes if I'm in the later parts of the mesocycle. And that's it. And then as soon as I finish it, I usually wait around, take a shower, whatever, and then come back upstairs and eat my post-workout meal. So we'll see you at meal number 3. Post-workout meal, my favorite meal of the day. Technically meal number 3 in the app for me. Have 6 meals, a couple of them are shakes though. But this is the one that I really like best, has the highest amount of carbs. Usually this one's gonna be about 35 grams of protein, 105 or so grams of carbs, and pretty minimal fat. So what I like to do is I'm going to, for my carbohydrates, I like rice cakes. You don't have to use rice cakes. They're just really simple, easy to eat, and you get to eat a lot of them. So about 11 grams carbs per rice cake, so that's 77. And I like this granola bar here. Just real tasty, something nice to have. A little treat post-workout. This has 26 grams of carbs, so if I add those up, you're looking at about 103 grams of carbs. So for me, I round that up to 105. And then, so what I'm gonna do from there is I'm gonna throw on, usually that's a little over 4 ounces of chicken. And now, as you just saw a little bit, this is a miraculous way to do chicken. I can't believe I've never done it this way before. Lori turned me on to it. You essentially boil chicken for a while, let it get just like real soft, and then you just use a mixer and it shreds it. So easy. It's so, it's so much simpler to deal with. And I'm just gonna measure it out, get about how much I need, use my food scale here, super, super easy. All right, and you'll notice I went a little over. So I talked about not being super, super perfect, but sometimes you go a little bit too far over. And that's it, folks. I'm gonna have some chicken. I'm gonna have my rice cakes, have my granola bar. Simple and easy, that's how I do it. So when I get done with my post-workout meal, that's usually around, I don't know, 11, 11:30. The afternoons is when I'm gonna sit down, do most of my emails. I'm gonna do most of my calls. I'm walking around, just getting in a few extra steps, especially if it's nice weather outside here in North Carolina. So that's kind of how I set up my workday. So it's a great thing. What's up, everyone? Back for meal number 4 of the day. This is usually a midday meal for me. And what I like to do is I actually like to call this the big ass bowl of salad. And luckily, this recipe, culinary masterpiece, I might add, is available in the Team Full Ram free cookbook. Folks, remember, it's a little bit of a joke cookbook. Don't take it too seriously. I'm gonna walk you through this. This is why I love this meal. Here's what we've got. A bunch of salad. okay? Super, super filling, super low carb. If you're dieting, this is perfect. If you're massing, maybe scale back a little bit on the amount of salad. You can also throw in some spinach. I am dieting, I'm gonna throw in both of these. Got trifecta chicken here, which has already been kind of pre-prepared, so I'm just gonna weigh it out. And healthy fats, go with just some almonds, gonna throw it in there. And my personal favorite, fruit to add in for carbs. Now the amount of fruit's obviously gonna depend. Usually for me, this mid-meal day, I like 30, 40 grams of carbs. So that's a good amount of fruit. Now you can mix it up, maybe throw in some rice too, totally fine. But I like strawberries, I like blueberries, I like raspberries. Any of those combinations, they are super, super filling. You throw all that stuff in, mix it all into a big bowl of salad. Man, you've got yourself a huge meal that's gonna keep you full and satiated for quite some time. Hey guys, this is Bella, little Frenchie Bulldog. She's our latest puppy. What's up everyone? Meal number 5 of the day. This is dinner time. This is when I sit down, usually with the wife and kids, sit down, have a family meal together. So a lot of times, we end up eating some of the same stuff. Right now I'm kind of doing my own thing, a little bit coming off of a diet, more so on easy maintenance. So macros are gonna be, I actually take a little bit more protein and I sort of put it a little bit later in the day. I like to eat a little bit more at night, just so I can stay a little bit more full. During the night, that's usually when I have, I don't know, more cravings or something like that. So a lot of folks will resonate with that. So I'm okay doing just a little bit less protein during the day, maybe like 30, 35 grams of protein in like my midday meal. And then what I'll do is I'll shift maybe like 40 grams or 45 in the dinner meal here. And then usually 45, 50 in my casein meal, which we'll show you later. So for me, that works out well. So what I like to do, a little bit of a stir fry here. So we got about 5 ounces of trifecta chicken. It's already diced, perfect, just throw it in. Got some trifecta broccoli as well, really easy, dude, throw that in. And then here's the kicker. So if you're dieting, you can use cauliflower rice, which is great, very filling, super low carb, high fiber, or you can use just normal rice. So depending on sort of what your macros are, you can play around with that a little bit. So for me, you kind of have the option, or theoretically, you could throw it all in if you want to do normal rice and cauliflower rice, mix it all together. But that's the stir fry. That's about as complex as my meal prep gets, really. Just throw it all in the pan. We'll add some seasonings to it, spice it up a little bit, but that's pretty much it. You'll notice all the meals that I do are just super, super simple. You don't have to be complex. You don't have to create these elaborate recipes. And for a lot of people, keep it simple. When you keep it simple, you'll be more likely to stay on track. And if you can stay on track better for longer, you're gonna have better results. That's what we're after in the long term. We want results that are sustainable in the long term. So let's dive in, meal number 5. Let's do it. All right, folks, we are back for the last meal of the day. This is where my culinary genius really comes to life. People ask me all the time, Nick, how do you make your world famous casein pudding? Folks, I am here to share the secret with you. Let me walk you through it. Here's what we're gonna do. Start with a bowl and a spoon. Notice the shape of this bowl. It can easily fit my face into it. That was picked not by accident. That means if I need to, I can lick the bowl at the end when there's just little crumbs, pieces left, whatever, okay? That's not an accident, folks. You know what I'm talking about, especially if you're really hungry at night. Even on mass maintenance, whatever, I still like to do that. It's just fun. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna have some Ascent casein. So for me, this is gonna be about 2 scoops. So I get about 50 grams of casein at night. Again, I like a little bit more food at night when I'm sitting down watching TV with Lori. Really easy, really relaxing. I enjoy that. So again, this goes back to the RP Diet app. I moved some macros from my earlier meal, the first meal of the day, because I don't love to eat in the morning, and I backloaded a little bit to that last meal of the day. So that way I get a little bit more casein. Little secret here, I like to do the pretzels for my carbs, and then for the healthy fats, now depending on how much you get, cashews, nuts, anything you want. You can mix it in with the casein, eat it separate, whatever you want, but this is my sort of go-to last meal of the day. Folks, that is a wrap up of a day of my sample eating. Couple things to keep in mind that I really want to stress. Notice, not every single thing that I measured out was perfect. It wasn't right on track. Some things might go a little tiny bit over, some might go a little bit under. The app accounts for all that. That's why it rounds to the nearest 5 grams. So don't get too stressed out about the little minute details. The extra stress is not worth it. It will actually damage your results if you stress out too much about things. Number 2, you'll notice the ability to move macros within the app is a game changer. If you're someone like me that doesn't like to eat huge breakfasts, take a little bit of that food, move it to later in the day. Again, that's when most people struggle the most when it comes to hunger and cravings. After the kids go down to sleep, you're sitting down with a spouse, with friends, whatever. You want to eat a little bit more food. You want to relax a little bit more. For me, that's perfect. And now you have the ability to do that in the app. And number 3, folks, let me just add a little bit on kind of motivation. You're going to have some days along the way where you're not always feeling the best. You're not really feeling like you want to do it. That's okay. That's normal. Expect it. Not every day is going to be a great day. You have to expect some ups and downs, but work on building the habits over the long term. And then on those days when you do kind of feel not so great, the discipline and sort of the habits that you've hopefully instilled and not stressing too much about being perfect and all that will help carry you through those rough days. So keep those things in mind. Feel free if you have any questions at nick.shaw.rp. Come hit me up on the Instagram, ask me questions. Folks, I am here to help all of you. We want you all to be successful. That's why I showed really super simple meals. You don't have to be a master chef. You don't have to be like Lori, creating all sorts of crazy recipes. Keep it simple, especially in the beginning. Chances are it will help you do better. Don't be afraid to reach out. We want you to succeed. Thank you so much for using RP, for watching the RP YouTube channel, for using the app, all of that. Folks, we really, really appreciate you. We want you to be successful. Feel free to reach out anytime. A final goodbye here from the Shaw household. Bella, say goodbye to everyone. Can you wave? Can you wave? Oh.